Woo! Woo! What's up, dudes? How's everybody doing out there? I'm Vernon Kid here, back again. How are my pre-alphas and betas doing out there? It is your boy, here with some news, or what everybody should know. Um, it's coming off some good news, but it's also coming off the news for some bad news. Net neutrality. Fuck. The fuck. But I'm trying to get you out of that mood and try to get you out of that mode. And if you see my Xbox One on, I apologize for that. Downloading some stuff. But yeah, man, we are here. I'm here to talk about the big deal that went down. Now, what the I'm the Geek Hollow of New York is going to do is not just talk about the. I'm going to talk about the full everything, what this deal means. So, want to make sure I get my facts straight so I'm not just going off the cuff with a lot of stuff. But the deal between Disney and Fox, 20th Century Fox, is for, make sure I get this deal right, 52 billion, $52.4 billion in stock, in their stock. Meaning that Fox, Disney will own not just they will acquire not just the X-Men, bringing them back home, the Simpsons, the Fox networks, a couple of stock of Fox stocks in Hulu that Fox has with them. The Empire Strikes Back. Pretty much it is. Yeah, the Empire Strikes Again. The mouse is no joke. But you guys are here to just want to hear what I have to say about this deal. It's a little scary. It is a little scary because I didn't think probably until maybe 20 years that this deal would go through. But hey, it happened. So what does this mean for those children of the atoms? They're coming home. They're coming home. What does it mean for the first family? Are they coming home too? Yeah, see, let's talk about that because it would seem that the Fantastic Four is not owned by, the rights are not owned by Fox. It's owned by a German company known as Constantine Films. And I was talking about this earlier on the Twitter about this. So what's going to happen? So how is that going to? And I said to these people, how long do you think that's going to last before that just then it's like, here, give me, here's your money, give us back. There's no doubt about it. That's not going to happen sooner than you think. And it's all great. I mean, you have to feel very happy to see it's seeing that the pieces of the Marvel puzzle finally coming together as one. Finally putting those pieces in. We were always missing some pieces from this Marvel puzzle. They had this much, and then where's the Spider-Man world? Damn it, we don't have that. Oh, we do now. I found the pieces. Think, 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 think. But it's always the X-Men, the mutants, the first family. Damn it. And then comes today. Tink, tink, tink. I found the pieces. We can put them in. Right? So the deal has happened. And I want to be fucking excited, but I also have to be a realist about it. As much as it'd be really cool to see the X-Men enter the MCU, be entitled Marvel's X-Men, or maybe Marvel's, maybe having a different name like the Astonishing X-Men or the Uncanny X-Men or something like that. Um, but also knowing that there's still established pieces with movies that are coming out from Fox, from New Mutants to Deadpool 2 to X-Men Dark Phoenix to the X-Men show that's on now, Gifted, to a possible X-Force movie. You know, how is that going to work when some of these have kind of taken a different route in the superhero genre, going a little darker, be a little bit more mature? Especially with Deadpool. Deadpool needs to be the way he is, and how would that fare? But then I started talking to my brother about that, and we're like, well, maybe Disney will just be similar to what they have done with the comics. They haven't touched those comics, how they presented, how everything is presented. So they haven't touched them. We don't know. And if I've read some more reports that the head is saying, like, Eager has said that a Radar Deadpool movie will not stop it, or something like that. And I'm just like, okay, but of course I am excited to see the Children of the Atom mix with Earth's Mightiest Heroes. I want an X-Men versus Avengers versus X-Men. No, I don't. Hell no, I don't. I know there's people that want that, but I don't want that because I didn't like the event, and I probably wouldn't like it live action wise if they're just gonna make the X-Men the villains. As nope. So just keep that off the table. But in doing so, you think about all the possibilities and all that can be done in terms of also one of the biggest Achilles heels in the MCU is the villains. Now with those villains, from your Sinisters to your Magnetos, if you want to call them that, to your Exodus, to your Apocalypse. Could they do Apocalypse over? The big question is, would it be, if the X-Men are in it, would it be a reboot, or would they just take bits and pieces from what already been established and put them together? The problem I have with that, what I say, and this is how I feel about that, I would want I wouldn't want the X-Men to be young. Nope. I don't want them to be young. Do we bring in James McAvoy as Professor Xavier? I actually want Professor Xavier to be older. I don't want him to be younger. Like, I'm saying James McAvoy is young, but I just don't want him to be that young. I want him to be established. And I still feel that this still is gonna still play up after phase 3. Who knows? You know, right there, the Infinity Stones, everything in reality, the MCU as we know it could have sign of a flashpoint reality change to it, where these characters now established in this world now, at just adding bits and pieces into it, keeping the continuity, but adding those pieces that need to be in there. But of course, even I'm going to include, yes, even the FF. We could see the first family. We could see. Could you imagine seeing? Could you imagine seeing Spidey and Johnny, best friends, get establishing that friendship, meeting on top of the Statue of Liberty as their usual spot, and just chit chatting and things like that? Could we could see that famous Thing versus Hulk fight or so? Um, we could see, hell, we could see probably the FF meet Panther. You know, there's so many we can see. Not only that, you get your Doctor Dooms, a right Doctor Doom. We could get to see the Negative Zone. We can see Annihilus. We can see Blastar. We could see Diablo. We could see the Silver Surfer. We could see a true Galactus. Those are some of the things that we could see. But also, you got to think realistically wise that though all this deal's happening and everything is cool and everything is like, oh, but it's still in part of my mind, it's still in the back of my head, where it's like, now wait a minute, hold on. Now all this is cool, but they're not just gonna throw these characters in, right? And that's the kind of thing, and that's the thing that I think a lot of people are thinking all right off the bat. Oh, okay, they got the deal. Let's throw the X-Men in there now. No, don't do that. Marvel has a plan. They stick. Kevin Feige, Marvel Studios has that plan. They stick to their plan somewhat. They stick to their plan on the most part. They stick to their plan, and they don't really go off the cuff too much. So as I said before, this deal is gonna, but we're not gonna see anything like these characters yet come into, and probably, and I say it after Avengers 4, after Avengers 4, where pretty much that is the compass of their 22 films that they've done. Because what did they say? What did Kevin Feige say? After Avengers 4, the MCU is going to be totally different. And now, yes, it will be totally different. You got your enhancement humans. You got your Children of the Atoms. You know, hell, I'm throwing in humans in there somewhat, but the sky's the limits. But yeah, it is good to see that, but it's also a scary factor because now you got to take aspects of the X-Men and try to, okay, now we got to wean this in. Like, for example, there's Quicksilver. I was just talking to my brother about that too. Quicksilver. There's rumors that Quicksilver is coming back in Infinity War. Okay, so you got Alan Johnson's Quicksilver, and then you got, I'm also getting the actor who played Quicksilver in the X-Men. What do you do with that? You know, Hugh Jackman has already said that he's not coming back as Wolverine. He kind of tweeted that. I mean, it'd be really cool, but do you recast these characters? And in some ways, I think you should. I think you should, or make a combination of mixture of some. But for me, I say recast them because I want them to be older. I want the X-Men to be older. The other question is, if they do reboot the X-Men, what will be the established team? Who is the original founding members? They could be different, but yeah, who's the original founding members? I mean, for me, I would want them to be the founding five, and with maybe three more added. But there's also that, it's also in the back of your mind, you're thinking, wait a minute, as cool as this is, as cool as it is, y'all, it's still scary because, hey, now they have everything. They have their pieces, but do we get clumsy? Do we get reckless and just give the fans just, oh, we'll just throw these fans, just throw them these characters now, so they could be like, oh, well, we now fans could be quiet now. There you go. You got your, no. My advice, stick to the plan. Stick to the plan. And that plan is, you got your phase 3, your last of your phase 3 movies coming out. And then, of course, then you move into the next phases, which ends, the end of the whole phase ends with Avengers 4. And I still feel that, okay, now we got this, and now we got that. I even said it like, what happens after Avengers 4? Do they continue the Avengers? Not just the event. Do they call it a new title? Which I feel that they should. Like, not an event. They should be called, the titles now for the movie should be called The New Avengers now, where they're just picking up with a new character. But the fact is, with this deal, don't get me wrong, it's not like I'm not happy, but I'm thinking realistically, why also to the point of like, will it work? You got to make this work. And I trust Kevin Feige and his team to make it work. I trust them to take the richest parts of the Marvel Universe, which he has done, and mix them up, put their own twist to it for the cinematic universe, but also keep the rich heritage and essence of those characters. Now, whoever fills the shoes of probably Wolverine, because there's no way Wolverine's not going to be he's got some big shoes to fill. That person, dude. Um, People ask me all the time, who would I want as Wolverine? I say right, but not Tom Hardy. I know a lot of people want Tom Hardy, but no, I don't. I don't want him. But the fact is, the deal's done. It's the deal's done, and we'll just have to wait and see where everything is. Just lay it out. Let's see where it goes. If you've been on the wagon for some time and you've been enjoying that ride, stay on and see where this goes now with the acquirement of the X-Men franchise and yeah, I'll even throw in Fantastic Four, even though yes, it's underneath. They're underneath somebody else, but still, how long is that gonna last? How long is that gonna last? Forget it. It's not gonna last that long because I want to see some of the big brains in Marvel come together and conversate against themselves. Like I said, what if there's so much you could think about, like the coming of Galactus, the coming of Galactus. What if what if they do get the let's say they get Fantastic Four officially back. Like once again, I keep saying because they're underneath Constantine. Could they? Could that be where they introduce the Atlanteans, Submariner, Namor, the Atlanteans, all those characters? I still feel with all that rich history in terms of like the negative zone, we could get Annihilus, and who with all the with with James Gunn putting it down in the cosmic side, could we get an adaptation of Annihilation Weaver? Some sort of adaptation of that great cosmic series and arc. Could we finally see somewhere down the line Alpha Flight? Huh? Could we see? I already said that famous Thing and Hulk fight. Could we? Wolverine and Hulk fight. Sky's the limits. But also on the other side of me, I'm also thinking, okay, that's one thing. But I also got to think about how do you do this? How do you bring this in without kind of screwing it up? Yeah. And I've said it before and I'll say it again. It comes down to, I feel, the Infinity Gems or stones, the Reality Stone. You can alter the reality, alter the whole MCU reality a bit, add things into it, and then it comes back together, and you can see 4 Freedom Plaza. Go up, we're further up New York, and we can see the XMansion, the Xavier School for the Gifted. You know, it's just a whole new ball game, y'all. It's a whole new ball game, but they have required the, the mouse has required Fox for how much? 52.4 billion. What do they have? They have so many franchises now, Disney. It's unbelievable. From your Star Wars to your Indiana Jones to, like I said now, a lot of the Fox networks. It also said networks like I said, the Fox network to Simpsons to I read also National Geographic and all this other stuff. It's like the empire. It's like a goddamn empire. They they want to require something, they just grab it, and they have. And seeing all this happen, it's exciting. But for me, guys, I'm a little scared, but I'm also excited. Don't let my calmness fool you guys. Underneath the surface, hey, your boy's flipping out. He's I'm doing hopscotches and flips over my head and things like that in my head, and so is Hurricane. And he doesn't want to talk now. Usually he talks. You guys know you can now. Hurricane can project his thoughts now, and but he's happy about it. Trust me, I'm just laughing now in my head right now. But anyway, guys, all in all, deal's done. We'll see where it goes, and that's what I leave it with you guys. Let's see where it goes. Let's see what they can do. If you trust Kevin Feige, somewhat, not fully, but you trust him enough to make things work. Trust him. He'll make things work. And I'm going to end it with that. Y'all take care, guys.